Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be doing a Get Ready With Me featuring Lisa Eldridge products. So we're going to take a look back at some of her previous releases, and then we're going to take a look at her new Balm Embrace lip colors. They do come with this new denim pouch if you are purchasing from her website. And I ended up picking up all 5 of the lip balms. So we'll talk about those. We'll do the arm and lip swatches. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to get started with the Sisley Blur Expert Powder. So I do want to kind of highlight Lisa Eldridge products today and just kind of, use things I have from her from every category. But this is a staple. I use this like every day. This is that Chanel Kabuki brush that came out a couple summers back, and I really like this brush with the Blur Expert. And I use shade 0. So I have my skincare on and that's it. You can see what the Blur Expert does to my skin. It just kind of blurs a bit and reduces a little bit of that redness. I'm going to bring you in closer. So this side has the Blur Expert and this side does not yet. And you can just see the difference. So this is something I like to put on pretty much every day underneath any base product. So now I'm going to go in with the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint, which I absolutely love. I wear this all the time. So for the skin tint, I have shade T1. So I just like to shake it a little bit. And today I'm going to use the Sonia G Jumbo Base Brush. And I like, with this particular skin tint, I like to use one of those like softer, dense type of brushes like this or the BK Beauty 101. Those are kind of like my go-to. So I'm just going to dip my brush in here a little bit and then add this to skin. So I'm kind of patting, and then I'm not using concealer today. So just trying to get that in there. That's another reason I like these more angled brushes with the skin tint if I don't feel like using concealer. And yeah, so I'm patting and then swiping a little bit. And you can see the side with it versus without. So I love how the skin tint does offer a little bit of coverage, but it looks incredibly natural. It gives you a very nice dewy base. And it just kind of, smooths out some of the, some of my skin concerns, blotchiness and things like that, while still looking like real skin. So that's why I love this skin tint. And still have a little tiny bit left here. Don't have to use it all, but I'm just going to add a little bit more to the areas of my cheeks that get a lot more redness. And that's it for the skin tint. Now, a few years back, Lisa Eldridge released her liquid blushes or cream blushes, and the packaging was kind of a fail. So I depotted mine into these little pots, and even with, one of these sealing it in, it's still mostly dried out. This is not solidly dried yet. It's actually dried to kind of like a putty consistency right now, like a putty cream. So I'm going to use it as is, but if you wanted to get back to the original consistency, rehydrating it a little bit with something like Duraline or a moisturizer or even a little bit of the skin tint would be good. So this is the shade Pink Soap, and I'm just going to pat this in a little bit. And I want to go with kind of something light and neutral, just so we can highlight the lip balms today, which are going to be the focus. So I've been trying those out, so I already have thoughts on the formula. So we'll get to those when we go through the swatches. But I picked up all 5 of the lip balms. Actually, I really wanted 4 of them, but then I was like, well, might as well just add the 5th one there. What if it's like something I regret not having? So I ended up ordering all 5 of the skin tints, or not the skin tints, the lip balms. So she also released some liquid highlighters a while back. These have a doe foot applicator, and I purchased all of those, I think, at the time as well, but I've since passed them on to friends, the colors that didn't work as well for me. But let me shake this a little bit more. This one here is Cosmic Rose. So this one, and I forget what the other name is. It's the one that she always features a lot on her channel. Those are the 2 that I like the best for me. And gonna add a little bit here, a little bit too much there. Let's just, so you can see it gives a nice sheen to the skin without being glittery, and it's a really pretty highlighter. Again, I added too much. I should just add a little bit to my finger from the doe foot, but yeah, I just didn't feel like it today. So there we go. We've got a bit of a sheen. And it stays nice. You can feel this one on the skin. It remains a little dewy. It never 100% sets on my skin, but it doesn't really seem to shift around. Obviously, if I were to wipe my face on a cloth or something, I'd be removing it, but it stays put otherwise. And I think it's a really nice glow. So let's move on to the eyes. We're going to start off with one of her eyeliners. This is the shade Night Forest. And let me just go ahead and swatch this one here. You can see it's a really deep green, almost black. But it's not like your true forest green. You know, it's got a little bit more olive. A lot of times when we see forest green, we've got more, you know, we've got some blue in there. This is definitely more of an olive forest. So these eye pencils are super creamy going on, but I find that they don't really set super well. So you got to smudge them out. If you leave it like full like this, it does not set. So I'm taking the Sonia G Pencil Pro and I'm just going to kind of smudge this out a little bit here. And we're going for a very simple eye look today, so I just wanted a little bit of smudged eyeliner. Next, I'm taking the Rephr 15 Max, and this is the Vega palette. We're going to go into this kind of matte taupe shade here and just get a little bit of this on. And this is going to be kind of like a putty style matte, so it works nicely in the crease because you don't pick up too much pigment at once, and you can get kind of a light dusting, which is what I would like today because I'm actually just going to be going in with basically one metallic shade. So now I'm taking the Worker S from Sonia G, and we're going to go into this sparkly shade here in the Sorcery palette. This is my favorite of her eyeshadow shades. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this kind of all over. It's just like a nice shimmer. So just adding a little bit more. And this, I mean, to me, it makes me think of butterfly wings. I think it's so pretty. Let me bring you in a little closer so you can see that. I mean, look at the color of this. Let's just go ahead, add a little bit more even. I just love this particular shade. So you can buy singles for these, and this particular shade is called Mercurial. So if you're looking for just the shade, it's Mercurial, and I think it is her best shade. Now, you can get fallout from this shade, just so you know, but I think it's so pretty that it does not bother me at all. And you can see that having the eyeliner underneath just kind of adds a little bit of depth there, but this is your major color. All right, so now I'm just curling my lashes, and this is the Surat eyelash curler, and then we're going to go in with the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash mascara, which I think this is a phenomenal mascara. It's definitely really, really well done. So in my opinion, this is one of her best products. So I really like this mascara. I mean, you can definitely go, you know, kind of sparse on it. You can build it up and get, you know, something a bit more vampy. I like kind of a light look. Plus we're doing balms, so lighter look for me. All right, and then I'm just going to use the Byredo brow pencil in sand real quickly, and then I'll be right back and we'll talk about the balms. All right, so this is the final look aside from the lips, and you can see, you know, I really do hope she brings back her blushes at some point. This pink soap is such a really pretty natural shade, and actually the putty-like texture I have now that it's kind of dried out, for me, I really like that. So I think it's really easy to use, stays put well. The highlight gives you a very nice sheen. It's very luminous without being glittery, and I absolutely love this particular eyeshadow shade. Eyeliners, I'm not a huge fan of personally, but the mascara I think is great. And let's just go ahead and just swatch the items that we used already. So then we can move on to the lip balms and we'll cover all of those. So the skin tint, again, I have shade T1 here. So we'll just swatch a little bit of this. And I've been using this skin tint all the time. So I think it's a great skin tint. I have neutral undertones with some cool overtones. So T1 works well for me. And for comparison, I do have some foundation shades listed for comparison in the description box at the very bottom. But I wear Cle de Peau I-10 is kind of like my go-to, and that's my best match. For Chanel, I wear the BD01. And let's move on to the eyeshadow shades that I used. So that's the Sorcery. Let's go into Vega first. And here's the Vega palette, and I used this shade here in the top, which is called French Gray, and it is her Velvet formula. And you can see it's a very nice soft, it's a soft taupe with a touch of gray in there. I think French Gray is very apt. And then we went in with the shade Mercurial, which this is a glittery shade. It's a little bit of a drier glitter, so you can get fallout with this. It is stunning. You can see it has a beautiful shift. So I used those two shades over the Night Forest eyeliner. And then the blush here, we use the shade Pink Soap. And let me just go ahead and swatch a little bit of that. We'll put that right here. And you can see that this is kind of just like a nude pink. I think it's a really great natural pink. It does have a little bit of warmth to it. So it's neutral, leaning warm. And I think it's just one of those great like everyday shades where you get a slight flush without too much color. And then the highlighter, I used Cosmic Rose. And let's put this one, we'll put it right here. And just blend that out a little bit. And you can see this is kind of a warm rose highlighter. So those are the items we already used. And so for the lip balms, let's go ahead and do the arm swatches. Then we'll move on to the lip swatches and we'll complete today's look. So when you purchase right now, this is the gift with purchase. It is a new denim bag. So personally, I love denim. I think it's a really cute bag. So I do really like that. And then there are 5 of the Balm Embrace Melting Lip Color shades, and I picked up all 5. So let's go ahead and get started with those. And we're gonna go in with, this is Épanoui. And just so you can see the packaging, we do have click closure. You can see the little clicks down here. We have a gold tube, the Lisa Eldridge logo on top, and we have the slim style packaging. So this one here is Épanoui. And you can see that this is going to be kind of a soft rose. So here is one sheer swipe. And then we can go and build this up a bit deeper. So here's this one. And this is going to be a neutral rose. It leans slightly warm if you had to pick a direction, but it's pretty neutral. And then next up we have, let's get these in order of the depth of color here. And we have Meet Cute. This is going to be kind of your soft peach. And there's a little bit of nude in the peach, but it is pretty much a true peach shade. And so this is Meet Cute. And then we have Sweet Fig. And this is going to be more of your true nude. This is like a great everyday nude balm. Really like this shade here. And it's definitely my top shade. I haven't decided exactly which ones are my favorite, but this one, Metropolis, and Epanouie are definitely in the top 3. This one here is Red Curve, and you can see this is going to be a warm red. So really great for summer. It's kind of one of those soft, fiery reds. But I tend to prefer still some of the cooler shades. And then Metropolis, this looks really deep into, but you can see it is very light. It's a lot lighter than I expected, actually. And this is going to be more of your cocoa brown. There is a touch of eggplant in here, but it is mostly brown. It's going to run a bit cooler though, so it's going to be your cooler cocoa brown. And these are the 5. So we have Epanouie, Meet Cute. This one was Sweet Fig, then Red Curve, and Metropolis. So let's go ahead and move on to the lip swatches, and we'll talk a bit about these. The Lisa Eldridge Balm Embrace Melting Lip Colors retail for $34 US, and we have 2.8 grams of product with an 18-month shelf life, and these are made in Italy. According to Lisa Eldridge, these are buttery, balmy, melting lip color with an infusion of sheer color, glass-like shine, and deep lip care benefits. Addictively melts into the lips and is formulated with 87% natural origin, skin-friendly ingredients for maximum care and comfort. We have 5 delicious, nuanced, lip-enhancing sheer shades. It's vegan, contains no parabens, mineral oils, microplastics, or silicones. As for fragrance, there is a faint scent to these. So when you smell a clean lipstick, you have a little bit of, you can smell some of those like different oils and how they kind of cocktail together. So you have a faint hint of that, along with what smells a little bit like vanilla. According to the ingredients, it just has aroma or flavor added. It doesn't say specifically what it is. Now, I say that this is a subtle fragrance, meaning that you can smell it upon application, but once it's on, it's not really something that you notice. Texturally, these have a buttery texture, and if you're comparing waxes and oils, it definitely has a waxier texture, but it's one of those, like if you've used like pure cocoa butter or shea butter, it's one of those like hard substances that kind of melts in. And again, it is a melting lip color, so that is to be expected. So when you put it on one sheer layer, you feel a very thin layer of kind of like a buttery wax. But if you want like full moisture and so forth, you want to layer it on a few times. With some of the deeper colors, when you just swipe it on, you can get a little bit of patchiness. Rub your lips together, it goes right away. Everything kind of smooths out and looks even. Now, we've seen a lot of tinted lip balms recently that have launched, and I would have to say that the ones that are the closest texturally would be the new YSL Candy Glow Balms. So those have a very similar texture and consistency. Those, remember, do have, like all other YSL lip products, they have that strong fruity fragrance to them. So texturally, these two are very similar, but it's going to be a different experience, partly due to the fragrance and of course your shades that are included. So I hope those lip swatches were helpful, and somebody decided to open the door and come in and say hello while we were going through those. She just had a bath, so she's shedding like crazy. So she's been getting a lot of baths. But yeah, that's it then for our lip balm. So we have over by my wrist, we have Epanouie, Meet Cute. Then we have Sweet Fig, Red Curve, and Metropolis. So on my lips right now, I have Metropolis. I think it's a really beautiful shade. And overall, I have to say that I do really like these lip balms. I think they are really nice. I'd love to see some more colors come out from Lisa Eldridge with this particular formula. I'd love to see like a true like mauve or something like a pink lilac, you know, something with a little bit of purple in there. Maybe a cool tone red would be nice as well. So I'd love to see some cooler shades included in this range. And yeah, overall though, I have to say, I think they are really, really nice. And I'm really happy with everything that I used today. So I kind of already gave you a rundown on my thoughts on all of these products. I hope this, you know, kind of look at the Balm Embrace lip balms was helpful. So as I mentioned, the YSL formula is the closest. So I wanted to go ahead and swatch this one here that I have, which is probably the closest shade-wise. This is 6B. So I picked up a couple of these. And the other one I have is a pH Adaptive Clear Pink. So it doesn't match anything here. But I thought this would be closest to Metropolis. You can see it's kind of a cross between Sweet Fig and Metropolis. It's definitely going to be a warmer brown. Has a little bit more red in there. Next to, when you have these two next to each other, Metropolis definitely has a bit more purple in there. It looks a little bit more evident there. So that was just a quick comparison. And then I also wanted to take a look at this Tatcha in Midnight Lily. So that's also, you know, kind of in the same type of family, but this has a bit more red in it. It's more of a reddish plum. So if you think about like a red plum, the color of the skin on the outside, that's more what we have with the Tatcha. Now the Tatcha, one of the benefits is it does have SPF 25. So it's definitely a great SPF lip balm. And this is the Tatcha in Plum Blossom. So I thought we'd go ahead and see how that compares. It's more of a deeper peach. It's kind of in between Red Curve and the Meet Cute shade. A little bit closer to Red Curve just because of the depth of color, but it's definitely more the shade of Meet Cute. And I would say the Tatcha formula is also kind of in the same ballpark. So this is the Dior in number 61, Poppy Coral. And let's go ahead and see how this one compares. We'll put this one right here. It's definitely going to be lighter, more sheer. You can see how light that is. It really doesn't have a great comparison. These are slightly waxier than the Lisa Eldridge, but again, also kind of in that same textural family. And of course, we have to look at the Dior 62 in Bronzed Glow as well. But this is also going to be a bit warmer, more reddish shade as well. You can see how light the Dior are in comparison with the Lisa Eldridge. And then let's also take a quick look at the Prada lip balms. So we have 3 new tinted lip balms from Prada. Let's go ahead and just swatch them. This one here is U010. And we'll put this one down here at the bottom as well. Let's put it here. You can see again, it's going to be more reddish. Really beautiful shade though. I really like that one. And then we have U011 here, which is going to be, we'll just go ahead and put this up here. Doesn't really match any of the shades in the Lisa Eldridge. And then the last one here, I wanted to compare to Apamwe. This is the shade Guava U013. And you can see that it's going to be deeper. It's also going to be similar pink shade, but it's going to be deeper. And they're both kind of this warm rose shade. So that's a kind of a close comparison. And then just a few more comparisons. I want to take a look at the Chantecaille lip sheers. So this one here is the shade Empower. We're going to just squeeze this in right here. And you can see again, it's going to be a bit more red. Doesn't have as much of that cool hue as the Lisa Eldridge. Then we have the shade Optimism, which is the pink. Let's go ahead and put that up here so you can see how that goes. You can see again, those are going to be pretty close. The Chantecaille is a little bit of a cooler pink, but they are close. And then our last shade here is called Enthusiasm. And let's try and put this near Red Curve. And you can see it's a bit more, it's a cooler tone, reddish peach. So it's more of a coral, like a pinky coral. Now, texturally, the Chantecaille, they have a little bit more oil in them than the Lisa Eldridge. Lisa Eldridge have a little bit more wax. So I would say that on the lips, the Chantecaille are a little bit thinner on the lips texturally. So I hope those comparisons were helpful. Overall, I have to say I do really like the lip balms. I think they are a great formula. You know, as I mentioned, the scent really is an issue. You can smell it a little bit during application. And I don't really taste anything when licking my lips. So no real issues there with taste or fragrance. Again, we featured a bunch of products from Lisa Eldridge. I kind of gave you my thoughts on all of those as we were going through them. And I hope this was helpful. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.